Hey everyone, welcome back to Parsnips and Parsimony. This is the long-awaited video of how much our garden produced in 2020. I know many of you followed along our progress throughout 2020 on how the garden produced, and we gave you kind of a rough tally of everything that we got, but Art finally sat down and we figured out the actual numbers for each crop, what we got, and how many pounds it added up to at the end of the year. A little bit of a flashback here. If you remember right, at the beginning of the year, my goal was 500 pounds of produce. That was, I felt, stretching it, because in 2017 we had a little over 400 pounds, and in 2019 we had a little over 200 pounds. So hitting the 500 pound mark seemed like it was a huge goal. But when we got halfway through the season, we hit that 500 pound mark, I'm thinking, what goal should I aim for now? Because I never dreamed that we would actually hit our goal and surpass it. So without further ado, our grand total that we ended up getting for 2020 was, drum roll please, 1,042 pounds and 1 ounce. I mean, can you believe that? We hit 1,000 pounds. I would have never ever thought we would have hit that, but we did. This was 2017 right here, and all the food. In fact, that was 17. We skipped 2018. These were our totals for 2017. And then flip over to last year, 2019.
I know last year was a very good year.
And then we recorded all that, but this was a bad year. And then we actually wrote down everything right here. And we're gonna flip the page and start 2020. This is exciting, Art. And so thankful for all the produce that we did end up getting. So a little bit of the breakdown here. Art's got it on his handy dandy list here. And I'm not gonna read all of these because, I mean, this video would be forever long. I'm just gonna pick some of the highlights here and talk a little bit about them. If there's something you would like to know a little bit more about, let me know over on, I have no comments right now. Let me know over on the community page and I can answer you over there. I think our biggest overproducer was tomatoes. I was shocked when we got this number. 252 pounds and 7 1/4 ounces. I am shocked because I only had 24 plants, and I suspected that we were going to have fewer tomatoes than we normally get, just because there were fewer amount of plants. In the past years, I've really packed, and I've grown like 50, 60 plants in my front garden here, and it's been nowhere close to that. So I think my big takeaway from that is, number one, the big beefsteak tomatoes, well worth it. I loved them from the salsa, and are definitely going to be a make again. And then the other takeaway is growing them vertically and really letting them get nice and tall. I think that made a huge difference. And then the third thing was giving them enough space so they could have the nutrients that they needed instead of feeling like they were crowded. I did some pruning to them. I know that was a question, is do you prune, don't you prune? I did do some pruning, but still, I'm amazed. I think that was fabulous, and we got lots of salsa. I don't think Art wrote down how many jars of salsa we canned, how much taco sauce or spaghetti sauce we made, but we made a lot. So that was a huge producer crop there. Look how tall these are. I don't know if you can grasp how tall those are. I'm 5'3". Those go well over a foot and a half over me. So we're looking at, what, 7 feet, 6.5, 7 feet tall tomatoes. Earlier this week, I did snip off the tops of them. They can't get any more tall. They can't go anymore. I have tons and tons of tomatoes. Look at these tomatoes. Oh, so pretty. The other one that I thought was pretty amazing is the green beans. Those were 75 pounds, 5 1/4 ounces, and those primarily all came from those bean trellises. So if there's anything that I plan on repeating in 2021 is the bean trellises. I think those were probably one of the best decisions that I made for 2020. These 4 sets of TPs are also for more pole beans. For about 4 to 6 seeds around each pole. To think that we compacted a small area and we got 75 pounds of green beans, and we canned a lot of green beans, and we ate a lot of green beans. So I felt like that was a huge win-win situation there too. We got 70 pounds of peaches. We probably had a lot more than that, but you guys, if you remember right, we were struggling with the mold and the rot on it, and that caused, I think we lost a lot of peaches due to that. The elderberries, we got almost 5 pounds of elderberries. They're still in my freezer. I haven't processed them though yet. I'm still looking for some good ways to use it, and quite frankly, we have been so healthy this year, which I am so thankful for. That I haven't needed to touch the elderberries. The elderberries are one of those things that I pull out when we're sick. We haven't been sick, so they're just sitting in the freezer right now. Probably I need to deal with them at some point. Maybe my February goal will process the elderberries. The eggplant, another one shouldn't surprise you because you saw how those plants were out here. 46 pounds and 9 ounces. That's a really good year for eggplants. The potatoes did 22 pounds, 7 ounces. Art and I were talking about it. We think we ended up getting around 4 or 5 pounds of seed potatoes. So we did get more potatoes than we planted, but it wasn't a fabulous crop. However, we do want to do it again this year in more of the black garbage can containers. That is on our agenda for the 2021 garden. The spaghetti squash was 42 pounds and change, 75 pounds of pumpkins. The horseshoe squash, I want to say they're called Tahitans. I probably butchered the name. Those were 66 pounds and 6 ounces. Butternut squash, 58 pounds, 11 ounces. And zucchinianos, 106 pounds and 2.5 ounces. Really unbelievable to me. So those were probably my highlighted items that we got the most of, that were extremely beneficial. Oh, I don't think I mentioned the yellow squash. 68 pounds, almost 69 pounds of yellow squash. Remember this year, I grew them vertically as well. It worked.
I'm going to try something new this year, train it to go up the poles. 2 of them have already sprouted.
It definitely works. So some of those things that I'm going to be redoing next year are definitely the bean trellises. We're going to make sure I consistently stake the tomatoes because that was super beneficial. And then as for the yellow squash, we're going to grow them vertically too. I learned something very important though. You can't let those yellow squash get anywhere close to tipping over, or else once it's over, you can't train it back up. And that was the problem I had with zucchini. We did get a zucchini, it wasn't much because the plant died. If you remember from our vlog from camping, while we were away, the gal who was taking care of our gardens for us sent me a picture, and we ended up getting a borer in our 1 zucchini plant. So we only ended up with just shy of 12 pounds of zucchini, which isn't that bad, but it still isn't. It's not as much as it could have been. So again, that was a case where the plant started laying down and then it was all over from there. But I am thrilled with what we ended up getting from our 2020 garden. Check out the next video that will be after this one, all about your questions answered about our garden and our future plans for 2020 and what does that include for our garden. Thanks so much for watching. Please share us with your friends and we'll see you for our next video. Bye.